string, no?
Let's just see.
We get it.
Okay. So we are live, and we'll associate you able to check it, and we can. So this is the music you're hearing. The music you're hearing.
Who's this? Wow, now we're live. Who's this? It's good.
Who's this?
We're live.
So a big shout out and thank you to Theophilus, my son, who's really toiled to make sure everything works tonight. Iona, if you're listening, could you find that link and then share it to the world, please? Get Peter involved and put it on Twitter for us. That would be really great. So we're listening to the music of Andre Yola, and that's where we'll start. So we're going to cut this and we're going to turn to Andre, and he's going to share a live song for us. What an honor. Andre, firstly, bro, thank you so very, very much for doing this to start off with, and for doing this live on top of it. What an honor. Please enjoy Andre Delan, and after that I'll explain a little bit more about why we are here.
Okay. Deep in the shadows where you lie, cry and suffer with no food to eat, nowhere to go, no one to talk to when you're lonely. Why should you believe heavy burdens on your shoulders? No salvation shows a faithless smile. And everything you touch and everyone you know has let you down. Although the tears you cry, it's time to wipe your eyes, 'cause you're one and yeah, and no one can take that away. Special in my eyes, forever and for always. It's plain to see that you are one in the middle, yeah. Elele, elele. Uyakaya, uyalekaya, unzima lomthwalo. Izolundu nohlupheko neselilo. Izonyembese nahlupheko iwakho. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Andre.
Hey, man.
Thank you for that song. We'll come back to that song because that song is the theme of this evening. For those of you who are joining us online and for our lovely guests that are here, the reason why we started this particular broadcast, it's going to be every single Thursday at 7 p.m. The next 7 p.m. will be better than the last 7 p.m. The next 7 p.m. is always better than the last one. Where are we right now? Good question. We are in Stockholm in Sweden. And ik wil niet voor die mensen in Afrikaans zeggen dat is zoals ons uitdruk dat is vrek koud vanavond in Sweden. So that means it's extremely cold. If I have to be very honest, I have the sense that it's going to get worse. It's going to get colder. But we are here at a place called Sven's, and I'll explain to you the significance of that name later. But the reason why we have this broadcast is twofold. We want to support vocational training in agriculture in South Africa, especially in rural settings. And we're doing this in two ways. Number one, we're raising awareness of what we do. So these podcasts will tell the story of this incredible work that we are doing in South Africa, number one. But number two, we also want people to support them. Raising awareness is one thing, but getting and garnering support for it, that's really what it's about. So thank you if you're tuning in live. This will of course stay on the channel, and so you can return to this. And if you're returning, thank you very much for doing that. Try and stay in touch with us so we can try and support you to find a way to strengthen our work in South Africa. We have a vocational training in agriculture school in South Africa. When I say we, I mean it's an organization called Learning Academy Worldwide. And what they do is give young people a hope by introducing new careers in agriculture that can strengthen their income, increase their viability in community, improve their participation in community, but most of all, elevate their hope, the sense of there is meaning, there's a future, there's purpose. Work and meaningful work has a way of creating that. I have learned a lot over the years of working with communities in rural settings in South Africa. Andre, that's here with us this evening, and myself grew up in South Africa, and we know what rural really means. So we are the best people to engage in this area. And the song that Andre just sang talks about 1 in a million, and that's the theme for this evening, that one individual, meeting and connecting with one individual, that makes a big difference. Now, talking about one individual, I said the place's name is Sven's. Now that's not a coincidence. It's the man sitting to my left. His name is Sven Isaacson. You've got your headphones on there, Sven. Tell me. Well, firstly, once again, just like last week, Sven, thank you.
Thank you, Theo.
That we can be here. I think it makes a big difference that we are in this place. For those of you who managed to tune in last week, but a reminder, we met in a very odd way. I was trying to, I was broke, and Sven was hungry. So that's going to be the story of our lives. Yeah, sometimes I want to switch languages. So for those of you who are English and you can't understand Swedish or Afrikaans, julle sal maar moet klaarkom. And Sven, there you have it. It was really good that we could meet in that particular way. Thank you again for allowing us to be in this particular space. What were you thinking about that song when Andre was singing, 1 in a million? Or what were you thinking? What went through your mind?
Yeah, first of all, Andre is an amazing artist, and live music just in general is very special, you know. So as soon as you meet a real musician and listen and get a feel for it, it's just an instant connection, like we're talking and have a meaningful conversation. You sit down and listen. Listening is as important as playing, if you really know about it, but Andre's music is special, and now it's the second time I get to listen and hear him play with such a passion and meeting and a real life story behind it too, you know. So it is like, number one, you can like the music, the style he's playing and he's singing, but then there's the story behind it too. And now, as we learned last year when he explains more about his life and where he's at, you feel it even more, you know. But it's an amazing experience. That's kind of where I created Svens too, to have a place for creativity and different people in the arts can get together and share.
Right. And I like that because it addresses that individual role, but also shows that the individual is real and is live and is here with us. Andre, could you enlighten us just a little bit about the song "One in a Million"? Where does it come from? Where did it start? Tell us the story there.
Well, it's just a song about, all the songs they have their own story to tell. And this is about homelessness, and not only where we come from, but the homelessness around here as well, And just kind of, because once you're homeless, you are so, it's a dangerous place, It's not a good place to be in, Nowhere to live, you have no address, you can't get a job, you can't get a place to stay because you need a phone number, you need an address, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So the song just talks about people hiding themselves. I was one night. It was some years ago. I was in just a church working with a choir, and then afterwards we had to lock up, and then somebody said to me, "Hey, there's somebody up there." So I went up there, and there was this lady there preparing to sleep. And I told her, I said, "So you can't sleep here because that's what those are the instructions we got." And I said, "You cannot sleep here." And she says, "I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go." And I said, "But come, let's go to McDonald's. We buy you a meal." So we went there and we sat down. We talked to her a little bit, and just kind of hear a story, and just kind of, man, it just. So the song kind of came from that.
That's where it started.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Wow. One of the things that has impressed me about both of these points that you're making is that there's a lot to be said about an individual and the value of an individual. That at some point later, we'll make a phone call tonight. We'll phone an individual from South Africa, and her name is Tanya Phillips. So later we'll talk a little bit to Tanya, and she has an incredible connection to all of us, and she's in a place at the moment called Stellenbosch. It's not too far from Cape Town. She's a student. While we set that up, Andre, do you wanna sing us another song, please? One that's on your heart.
You didn't tell me I was going to sing another song.
Well, I'm telling you now you're going to sing another song because I'm looking at the songs and I'm thinking now. I can play these tracks, but the real thing is always the best.
Hey, on the spot. You're putting me on the spot here. This is a piece called Spirit Song. Gojele, Gumalali la bako, Ayele la gejano. Gojele, Gumalali la genyela, Ayele la gejano. Gojele, oh you, singele, mama zangaye, ayele la, ololoba. Gojele, momololi la manalo, singele, ya. Gojele, sambaleli ganyana la zini genje. Olo. Gojele, And then, yeah. Sick. Ah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey.
Oh. That was magic. Because I think that's what you do. Great magic. Now, of course, tell us what language you were singing in, because that would be interesting for me.
No, that one is, that's why it's called Spirit Song.
Mm.
And I'll tell you what happened. I was going to record something on the guitar, and I just, and sound guy said, just check the microphone. And I had this in my head somewhere, and I started to play, and I started to sing. It just came, you know. It's just like in the spirit of the moment, just a lot of.
Yeah.
And I kept it.
Wow.
We recorded it, put it on the record. So that's why I call it Spirit Song, because I said, hey, it's a song from my spirit. I don't know what it means, I don't know what it's saying, but I know I felt something.
You did, yes. Okay, well, I'm playing the song on Andre's track, the album called Homecoming. One in a million, the one that you were very fortunate to just hear a short while ago. And what I like about the song is, as I said, let's focus on one individual. Before we go over to Tanya, because I'm trying to call her right now, Sven, tell me a little bit about you. I mean, we've had good conversations. There's one thing I would like to take up. I didn't warn you about this, but I did tell you to talk about individuals. You walked into the store somewhere in the south of Sweden, and you saw this pair of Texan boots. You remember you told me about the boots? The boots.
Oh, the boots. Yeah, for sure. The boots. Yeah.
So I should put my microphone on here.
Yeah. That's what.
So I think you said, I want that. That's what I want. Could you recapture that moment? Just tell us a little bit about that moment and what it meant for you.
Yeah, I think some things are out there, and if you're looking and if you're attentive, where you get your two eyes with you, you will react and you can make something out of it. You know, just being a little wow by the moment. And if I were looking for like a sign, and there's something I want, you go for it. You know? Yeah. And that can change. It's like it's being totally open, and then like we're talking with the horses. You don't need to have an agenda all the time. It's kind of take it for what it is. And I found those boots, and it's like, wow, I really want them. But it's not just the boots; it's something more. And then basically I could say nobody really told me about this, but I'm finding out on my own. And you take it from there. You know. I think that's the key.
How did the family respond when you said that? Did you get the boots?
Sure. Yeah, that's a given. If you want the boots, you make sure you get the boots.
Who got the boots for you?
Yeah, it's I guess my mom or my dad together. Yeah, it was in that store. It was those boots, and I was 100% sure this is what I wanted. But in the significance is kind of way deep, you know, because it was so early. Well, what would that lead to? It's the whole Americana lifestyle, and by the end of it, 50 years later, there's horses and Texas and cowboys, and suddenly you become one, and that mindset can lead you to we're sitting here. You know? That's kind of where it's at, you know.
Yeah, I find that so fascinating because you had people around you that in a way said to you, if you want that, if you, the one in a million, want that, you will get that. You expressed your desire, the focus, you got that.
Yeah, and they were open and cool about it. You don't need to have any judgment or whatever. If you're passionate and open and real about something, people will respond to that too, and you just do it, and it's okay, and they get inspired by it. On the other hand too, you know? Yeah.
And that's wonderful. I remember that story. Do you still have those boots?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Because they would have been like, what, 50 odd years
For
old.
sure, yeah.
Right. Well, I like that story because you are there. I can imagine that moment and sort of the hope in the eye, the focus on that one item.
Yeah.
It's just you and the boots. And of course we had no idea, you had no idea at that point how this thing would turn out.
Nah. And I had them on, so my toes are crooked too. So there's every time I look down on the toes, I wore them all the time, and as the feet grows, it was the same boot, so the toes are a little crooked.
Okay.
There's a price to it too. And
How long did you have the boots on then? So you were...
Yeah, I love those boots. And then, as I say, I got the boots, and then we went to my grandfather's place. There was a farm, and then I'm there. I got the boots. Where are the horses? But the boots stayed on, you know. And then the feet. Yeah. Had to take it.
You have the marks that show the story of the boots.
That's the thing, you know, and it's always there. So it's like that's a scar for the story, but it's part of it. Because then you never. It's always. I'm ready for the boots, and now I get more. Yeah.
I've enjoyed speaking with Sven because I can hear in these stories he's alluding to meaning and purpose because there's always something else. It's not just the boots.
No.
But how old were you when you?
Good question.
Must be
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
Before, 4 or 5 years old. You know, I went to that store, and it was. Like my mom's brother, whatever. No, not my mom, but the grandmother's store or something. And I was seeing these cowboy boots, the perfect boots, and it's just like sneakers and these. I want those, and I wore them all the time and everywhere. Yeah, it was all those very significant. It's very early and significant, but like at the time you're growing up, you're watching a lot of westerns and stuff like that, but then I was like, how do I get into this, you know?
That's incredible.
Wow.
I like, there's quite a lot to learn there. What do you think as you listen to this?
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was set out there for you to follow, you know?
Yeah.
You already had it somewhere inside of you, you know?
Yeah.
You didn't know it here,
I didn't know.
but you knew somewhere.
Yeah.
And you knew.
Yeah, I was part of that scene, you know, and everywhere.
No, while the two of you talk, I'm going to try and follow.
It's like in music or whatever, something drives, and what drove me to music was photography. You want to be around something that's bigger than you, but it is right, and then how do you find your way to it, you know, and it's connecting through people and experiences, like listening to your music or being part of the moment or being around say the Western style or the horse or wherever, or if
it's amazing.
Yeah. And there's a reality to it too. That's like, it's not just an idea. You just step into those boots or whatever and you're there. Mentally, you know, that's the cool, it transcends time and space. So I guess that keep a dream or a movie or scenario here that is real for you, then you're safe and cool, you know.
Totally.
And you find those people that want to be part of that tribe and club. So you're not really dependent on who's around you physically because you have another group.
Right.
That's the key, you know.
And so,
like when we talk, you know, we like connect right away and talk about the good stuff. That's it. Where do we have you know, the honey, so to say. Skip the rest, you know.
Well, we've been talking about individuals here this evening and the value that each person has. Andre's song, 1 in a Million, started us off this evening. Sven's boot story tells quite a story about many, many things. And I have on the phone Tanya Phillips, and I'll give you a little bit of background, just very briefly, because the rest of it we'll speak together about it. So Tanya is a young student of ours. In fact, Tanya is one of the first 2 students in vocational training in agriculture in a place called Harlem, just northeast of George. This is a city, biggest city in the Southern Cape in South Africa. And let me just, without further ado, just get Tanya up here and talk to us. I'll try and share the microphone with her. Tanya, can you hear us? So let me elevate the sound here and see if we can get more of you in here. Tanya, I'm sitting here with a couple of Swedes here, and there are a good number of folks online. Thank you so very much for joining us. What was your day like today, Tanya?
Wow.
What did you do
It
today?
was just a lot.
It was a while?
Today, today was like actually very practical today. So I bought the kids today.
Yeah. Can you hear us okay? All right. There's always going to be a connection problem.
Yeah.
And that, I like what WhatsApp is doing. It says reconnecting.
Yeah.
It gives you hope. And then I don't know what happens after that. Tanya is reconnecting now. We've got a picture up there. That picture was taken in February last year when she graduated from the first phase of what we call a bridging program. Now, what is a bridging program? Well, a bridging program is when there's a lot of young people that have maybe finished their high school training, but for some reason a couple of years have passed and they've not had an opportunity to do anything more than that. And so what we've gone in is support that gap between when they last studied and a new study opportunity. Vad skulle man säga det på svenska? En liten övergångs...
Interim or
Yeah. Just something to help them, because now they've worked for a couple of years, things have not worked out, and so they need this extra support. And Tanya was part of that in that picture. Tanya, we got a picture of you that we took at the graduation last year. No, it's a good picture. It's a great picture. Don't worry. So you had a wonderful day today?
Oh yeah, it was so much, but I had a wonderful day. Finally done with the fencing.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So you are okay. You've now completed your first year, but if we could just talk a little bit, Tanya, about 2019 when you attended that first camp. Idea of the camp was to orient or introduce to young people the possibility of studying in agriculture. What is your most memorable recollection of that weekend in October 2019?
Wow. Honestly, when I got a call from Holland, from Ottawa Research Center, it was like, "Hi Tanya, do you want to go to camp?" It was like, "Yeah, sure." And I had no idea what camp it was, what we were doing. So it was until I got there on the camp, actually, when I started to realize, okay, this is actually an agricultural camp, so to speak. And at first I was like very nervous because the people's English was out of this world, you know. So yeah, I felt a bit intimidated by English first of all.
That's a good English word you're using right there.
But after a while I like got comfortable in my skin and I started to get out of my shell. And most of all, the surprising for me was Uncle Theo speaking Afrikaans. I was like, wow, he is finally one of my people.
Oh.
But the amazing part was actually for me, the days out was to get together, get to know each other, working in different groups, cooking, that Portuguese together, like that contest we had. It was the highlight for me. For Saturday, it was where you had to share your future plans and your dreams forward and like that. The reason I held back at the time, I was like, oof, I'm too scared to share. But for me, at that moment, I already saw an opportunity at that camp to further my dreams in my studies. And then,
Well, that's good. And so 2019, you had this introduction, and then there was a little bit of quietness, and then we sort of approached you all for further opportunities. We actually created a good number of opportunities, and then COVID came, and that was quite interesting at the beginning of 2020. But if you remember that when you went back to where you came from, where you came to the camp from Harlem, and I think you were the furthest away, is that correct?
Yes,
Because everybody else was from this little suburb just outside of George where the camp was.
yeah.
Interestingly, this little place called Harlem is about 160 kilometers away from where Andre was born. A place called Humansdorp. Yeah. Incredible.
Used to go run around there when I was young, keep with my granddad.
Andre de Lang sit hier saam met my, nou praat ek 'n bietjie Afrikaans met jou, sit nou saam met my hierso. En Andre is gebore in Humansdorp, is omtrent 160 kilometer daar van Harlem af. One day when you come to Sweden, don't come now, it's very cold. But when you when you come, we'll introduce you. The Yitte culture.
And it's not even started.
It's all just started.
It's beautiful November.
So I remember when. So what happened then is that we started working. We reached out and asked Tanya if she was interested in more, and she said yes. And so we then went to Harlem and we talked about extending her interest if she was really interested, because that's what we wanted. We wanted to introduce young people, but we wanted young people to say, I want this. You can't force things on people. And I think we needed to respect their interests, respect their desires. And Tanya, was I correct, were we correct in assuming that your continued contact with Learning Academy Worldwide after that was because you were interested?
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that desire, that dream. What was your dream?
My main dream was obviously to achieve my dream in agriculture, but my biggest dream was seeing it as a way to uplift my community, pay back to my community. I didn't want that opportunity to be a service for me alone, but I wanted for others as well to experience the same thing if I did. So yeah, it is the main reason why I was like, I want to do this and I want to see and took this opportunity to invest back into my community and help the people here also, giving them the same opportunity as I do.
That's incredible, Tanya, because I remember when we went back to the community and we did a good number of things there. We thought we wanted to start a training program, but we didn't have a place and we didn't have a land to sort of use as a training space for agriculture. Because my sense is that agriculture you can't sit in a classroom. You've got to get out there, plant things, and let your knowledge work. If your knowledge don't work, then the plant dies. If it works, it grows.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it, Tanya? So, but when we started speaking to the community, the question the community asked us was, why did you pick Harlem? Because we had then subsequently, with tremendous support from many Swedes, we were able to renovate an old building and turned it into the school that we have today. So we have a fully functional vocational training agriculture school, because the church said you can use this building, but it's in a really bad state. And so we renovated it and made it the center of learning.
Wow.
And when we launched this thing, that was the question people asked, why did you choose Harlem? And our answer was, we didn't choose Harlem. Tanya chose Harlem. So there was, because we were just saying what she told us, because it was the same. Tanya's answering the question in exactly the same way we asked. at the end of 2019 when she left that camp.
Wow.
And it's written down. This answer that she gave now is exactly the same.
Because I was wondering why Harlem of all places?
Yes.
Because it's out in nowhere.
Yes.
Long Grove, it's, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
and I was like, where Harlem? Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
I feel you, man.
yeah. So that's why we landed there. Now you've and so after the training program that we finished last year, Tanya was accepted into a what one can call a higher level program at agriculture at the Elsenburg College of Agriculture, connected to the Stellenbosch University. And you've just finished that year now, Tanya. How did that go?
Oh, I'm really so happy. I'm really happy with the thing that I'm done with theory, so to speak. But I still have 2 weeks of practical left. So they start on Monday until the 30th of November, and then I will be officially done. And then I graduate on the 2nd of December, then I'm finally done.
Oh. And that's for the first module. Are you interested to do a second part, or?
Currently, we are waiting for feedback from the college. So today they had again a meeting, and final marks meeting. So I hope by the end of tomorrow we will have some answers in regard to who accepted during this application process, and if we can come back next year for the first year of our diploma. And then the other thing, we also waited the answer on these bursaries. So yeah, we're
Okay.
kind of stuck now. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you were able to hear earlier when Andre was singing this particular song. It's called One in a Million. And the reason why we chose the song is because we think you are that. We really think you are.
Wow.
Wow.
You are one in a million. And so, thank you for spending these moments with us this evening. Wish you a wonderful rest of your evening. You're already at 9 o'clock, right? So it's 1 hour difference now.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. You take good care, Tanya. Thank you. Unless, Sven, I don't know. Do you have any questions for Tanya? Let me just stop the music there.
Yeah, so first
Or
excited to
impressions of
talk
the
to you, you know, and then hear your story, and like you say, it's very new, and then it's interesting to hear Andrew too, has why Harlem and so forth. But it's amazing that one person can bring such inspiration and power to it, you know. And can you just tell a little about your best experience and a little bit about your struggles and what resources and what are your dreams, so to say? What would be the most help you want from us and so forth, you know, to go further on, you know?
So there you have an open invitation. Those are good questions there from Sven Isaksson, and we'll stay in touch, Tanya. I don't know, Andre, do you want to some comment or?
No, I'm just excited that I think food is the main source of, you know, we need to feed the people. You know, we don't need any more designers, computer designers and programmers. We need people that know how to work the ground, to feed the masses, because that's where we need to go, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to hear that Harlem is right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Tanya and Harlem's right there.
Yeah.
May Father Tanya, it's nice.
Yeah. There you go, Tanya. Thank you very, very much, Andre,
Thank you.
for those kind words. And Sven, you take good care, Tanya. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is the beginning of many more. So we're going to be here every Thursday till 2074. We won't be around, but you probably can. I'm teasing. But you take good care, Tanya. Anything else you want to say to us tonight?
I just want to thank you guys for having me this evening. It means a lot to me. You guys can have a wonderful evening as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
That was special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, really special.
Yeah, and speaking of Harlem, by the end of it, it needs to be somewhere, and now Harlem is the center, and then we can communicate it. So it's interesting to hear the story, and then you now have the school in the center,
Yeah,
and that becomes the platform.
yeah,
So that's very cool. You know?
absolutely. Yeah. So that was a real tangible story there of a real individual that is doing incredible work and that has benefited greatly from the kind of support that we've been able to give. And so I like what we did this evening, focusing on the power of an individual and the difference that one person can make. Everything else that we can tell you about another time that you will hear from this point on concerning Learning Academy and Worldwide's work in vocational training in agriculture is a consequence, a direct consequence of one individual that that took that step. It was Tanya. Actually, there are two of them, and we'll have the other one also. Tanya, and the other one is Mariana Mulman. So Mariana's on next week, and it's two women, mind you, that really took those steps of faith, if you wish, that really felt that they wanted to grasp this opportunity. And for those of you who are online, you can go to a website called global.agriacademy.farm. I'll try and add this as a note on the live broadcast sort of comments page. And if you have any questions and want to know how you wondering how you can help, you're more than welcome to contact us. I'll try and play out with a song here from a man called Andre the Lum. We all know him now. Don't want to sound like, what is that song? If you don't know me by now, you'll never know. It's not that bad. But Andre and Sven, once again, I'm going to just play out with this song. Thank you once again for
thank you.
It's good opportunity. I'm just going to let the song play, but we'll cut out the microphones and you can just hear. You lying, I am suffer with no food to eat. Nowhere to go, no one to talk to when you're lonely. Why should you believe? There's quite a place for me that she's stuck. Every burden's on your shoulders, your salvation, just a grace smile. Yeah, these are the real ones. I can never find the folder that says the real ones.
Okay, that was so funny now.
Okay, let's wave to everybody and say good night. Thank you so very much.